Mermaids and marine spirits have long captivated the human imagination, weaving their way through ancient scriptures and timeless folklore. From the pages of the Book of Enoch to whispered tales along the shores of distant lands, these elusive beings are more than mere myth. They are powerful forces that have shaped cultures, beliefs, and spiritual battles throughout history. As we journey into the depths of these mysterious waters, we uncover stories of divine curses, spectral enchantments, and warnings hidden beneath the waves. This is not just a tale of fantastical creatures, but a revelation of spiritual realities that echo the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Join us as we explore the profound truths behind these marine spirits, their origins, and the lessons they hold for all who seek understanding beyond the surface. In the ancient days, before the rise of great empires and the spread of modern faiths, there was a figure known as Dion, a god worshipped by the Philistines, who dwelled along the coastal lands of Canaan between 1200 and 600 BCE. Dion was no ordinary deity. He was a being of the sea, often described as a merman, a creature with the torso of a man and the lower body of a fish. The Philistines built temples in his honor, particularly in Gaza and Ashdod, and his presence echoed through the scriptures found in Joshua, Judges, and Samuel. Dion was seen not just as a god of the waters, but as a powerful spiritual force commanding reverence and fear. The significance of Dion goes beyond mere mythology. His worship reflects how ancient peoples sought to understand the mysteries of the natural world and the spiritual realm. The sea, vast and unknowable, was both a provider and a threat. It held fish for sustenance, but also storms and creatures that defied explanation. By venerating Dion, the Philistines acknowledged the sea's dual nature, its blessings and its dangers. This duality is a powerful lesson. Often, what we fear or do not understand becomes the object of worship or caution. In this, we see a timeless human truth, our attempt to find meaning and control in the face of the unknown. The story of Dion also teaches us about the dangers of misplaced devotion. While the Philistines looked to him for favor, the biblical texts warn of the spiritual darkness such worship can bring. Idolatry, turning to created beings rather than the Creator, leads to spiritual blindness and estrangement from God's truth. This ancient narrative resonates today, reminding us to seek the true source of life and light rather than the shadows that deceive. Transitioning from the distant past, the whispers of the sea did not cease. Across the centuries, the allure and mystery of mermaids and marine spirits have persisted, carried forward in stories and sightings that challenge our understanding. From the voyages of Christopher Columbus to the quiet coasts of Wales, eyewitness accounts have breathed life into these enigmatic creatures, blurring the line between myth and reality. Columbus, sailing near the coast of Haiti, once reported sightings of mermaids, creatures that did not match the beauty of legend, but rather appeared as strange, fish-like beings glimpsed from a distance. His account reminds us that the truth often lies beneath romanticized images, inviting a deeper exploration beyond surface appearances. Similarly, in 1603, a farmer named Thomas Roald in Pendy, Wales, saw a mermaid, an encounter witnessed by several others and investigated by William Saunders. For 3 hours, these witnesses observed a creature described as a monstrous fish with a human-like upper body. The story was credible enough to inspire an illustration the following year, capturing the imagination of those far beyond the village. This event shows how communal testimony can preserve the memory of such encounters, challenging the assumption that these beings exist only in solitary imagination. Even older accounts, like a 13th-century Norwegian manuscript, describe mermen rising from the sea, creatures with man-like shoulders but unknown hands, believed to be harbingers of storms and misfortune. These narratives speak to a shared human experience of the sea as a place of mystery and spiritual portent, where strange beings serve as warnings or symbols. The lesson woven through these histories is clear. The sea is a realm where the natural and supernatural intertwine. The consistent presence of these beings across cultures and eras hints at a deeper reality, one that calls for humility and reverence. To dismiss these accounts outright is to close ourselves to the wonders and warnings embedded in our world. As we reflect on these ancient gods and eyewitness accounts, we begin to see a pattern. Marine spirits have long been part of the human story, bridging the gap between the physical and spiritual worlds. Their presence demands attention, inviting us to listen carefully to the messages they carry. From the temples of the Philistines to the shores of Wales, these beings remind us that beneath the surface lies a realm both wondrous and perilous. And so, as the tides carry us forward through time, we find ourselves drawn deeper into the stories of mermaids and marine spirits, not just as myth, but as living testimonies to the spiritual battles waged beneath the waves. This journey beckons us to explore further, to uncover the truths that ripple through history and faith alike. In the rich tapestry of African tradition, the figure of Mami Wata emerges as one of the most compelling and mysterious water spirits known to humankind. Revered in West, Central, and Southern Africa and among the African diaspora, Mami Wata is more than a mere myth. She embodies the essence of water's dual nature, nurturing yet dangerous, alluring yet fearsome. Often depicted as a woman with a fishtail, sometimes male, with hair ranging from straight to curly, Mami Wata's presence permeates both spiritual worship and everyday life. She is called Mother of Water, a name that captures the deep respect and the mystical power she holds. The story from Zimbabwe brings this power vividly to life. During a dam construction project, hardened workers began encountering strange, pale-skinned beings with dark hair and fishtails lurking in the water. These were no ordinary sightings. Tales of workers being dragged beneath the surface to never return sparked widespread fear. Even seasoned laborers, immune to most dangers, fled the site. The local tribe performed rituals to seek permission from Mami Wata, revealing the spirit's sovereignty over the waters. These events underscore the profound impact such marine spirits can have, influencing human actions and beliefs in ways both tangible and spiritual. Mami Wata's worship involves intense ceremonies, with dancing that induces trance states, allowing the spirit to possess followers and speak through them. This intimate communion between humans and water spirits shows a world where the boundaries between physical and spiritual blur. Yet, these beings are not always benevolent. Just as in many cultures, their dual nature means they can be protectors or predators, embodying a cautionary reminder that power, especially from the unseen realm, must be approached with reverence and wisdom. This leads us to an important lesson. The reverence for marine spirits often masks a deeper spiritual reality, one that cautions against naive devotion. Just as the Philistines worship Dion, these waters hold forces that can both bless and curse, offering prosperity or peril. Recognizing this duality invites us to seek guidance beyond tradition, to discern what uplifts and what ensnares. Turning from these vivid cultural encounters to a more recent and personal narrative, we find the story of Rain Melat, a U.S. Navy serviceman stationed near Murai Island in Indonesia. Melat witnessed fishermen hauling from the depths a creature that defied explanation, a being at once fish and human, caught struggling in their nets. What he initially thought a shark transformed before his eyes into something far stranger. The torso and face resembled a person's, albeit with coarse features and long hair, while the lower body was that of a dolphin, complete with a double fin. Despite Melart's pleas to release the creature, the fisherman secured it, and after a long struggle, the entity succumbed, weeping like a child. The locals called it a mermaid, creatures said to live in large schools, and feared contact with humans, diving deep to avoid capture. At night, these beings allegedly climb onto beaches, using four-fingered hands with two thumbs to pull themselves ashore. This encounter reveals an unsettling truth. Mermaids may not be the enchanting beauties of fairy tales, but complex, elusive beings with their own nature and fears. Melart's experience aligns with historical accounts, bridging ancient lore and modern eyewitness testimony. It challenges us to reconsider our assumptions and to acknowledge that such beings, whether physical or spiritual, have interacted with humanity in profound ways. The lesson here is one of humility and openness. Science and skepticism have their place, but so too must there be room for mystery and respect for what lies beyond our current understanding. By honoring these stories, we recognize a world rich with unseen forces, inviting a deeper exploration of spiritual realities. From the cultural depths of Africa to the shores of Indonesia, the sea continues to whisper its secrets through the voices of those who have seen beyond the veil. These tales guide us toward a fuller comprehension of marine spirits, not as distant myths, but as present realities shaping human experience across time and place. As we dive further into these mysteries, we prepare to uncover the spiritual dimensions of mermaids and the profound lessons they offer to those willing to listen. The Book of Enoch reveals a striking and somber truth about beings once human, transformed into what we now call sirens. Unlike the poetic images from Greek mythology depicting sirens as half-bird, half-woman creatures luring sailors with enchanting songs, the Book of Enoch portrays them as women cursed by God for their alliance with the Watchers, fallen angels who corrupted humanity. These women bore demons and became intertwined with dark spiritual forces, marking their transformation into sinister marine entities. Enoch 19:2 declares, "And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens." This passage uncovers a hidden layer beneath popular myth. Sirens are not mere figments of folklore, but represent a real spiritual corruption and judgment. Their hypnotic songs are not just calls of beauty, but dangerous snares leading souls toward destruction, dragging them into the dark depths where light does not reach. This biblical insight redefines our understanding of mermaids and sirens alike, emphasizing their malevolent nature and the spiritual peril they pose. The lesson embedded here warns against the seductive allure of evil disguised as beauty or benevolence. It reminds us to look beyond appearances and to heed the deeper truths that Scripture reveals about deception and spiritual warfare. These beings, once human, serve as a solemn testimony to the consequences of turning away from divine law. Turning from the tragic origins of the sirens, we confront the broader spiritual realm inhabited by marine spirits. These entities, spoken of throughout Scripture and tradition, are not mere legends, but active participants in the spiritual battles that surround humanity. Marine spirits are often described as demonic forces that inhabit waters, influencing hearts and minds, enticing people away from God's path. One of the most infamous of these is Leviathan, the mighty sea serpent, described in Isaiah 27:1 as the fleeing serpent, the twisted serpent, destined to be punished by the Lord's great and strong sword. Psalm 74:14 speaks of how God broke the heads of Leviathan in pieces and gave him as food to the creatures of the wilderness. Leviathan embodies pride, rebellion, and chaos, reigning over the children of pride, symbolizing the spiritual forces that oppose God's kingdom. Marine spirits, including Leviathan and their legions, wield power through deception and temptation. Many cultures, from African traditions to biblical times, have recognized their ability to grant wealth or influence at a cost. Those who seek favors from marine spirits may find temporary success, but become bound in servitude to these dark powers, trapped in spiritual bondage. This reveals a profound spiritual lesson. Earthly riches or power obtained through unholy alliances carry a heavy price. True freedom and blessing come only from God, who alone is the source of life and light. Recognizing the presence and nature of these marine spirits equips us to resist their lies and remain steadfast in faith. The ocean's depths conceal much more than physical mysteries. They hide the unseen spiritual forces that shape destinies. Understanding the nature of marine spirits and their leader, Leviathan, calls for vigilance and wisdom, reminding believers to stand firm against the schemes of darkness and seek refuge in divine truth. Across many cultures and throughout history, the worship of marine spirits has taken root as both a source of hope and a gateway to peril. In Africa, Asia, and beyond, communities have made solemn pacts and performed intricate rituals to honor these enigmatic beings, seeking their favor to protect livelihoods, grant wealth, or ensure safe passage across treacherous waters. Such rites often involve dances, offerings, and trance-like ceremonies where the spirit is invited to possess a devotee, speaking through them and revealing cryptic messages from the depths. Yet beneath these outward expressions of reverence lies a hidden truth. These marine spirits demand allegiance that can ensnare the soul. The blessings they offer come tethered to servitude. Those who accept their gifts find themselves bound by spiritual contracts, often unaware of the cost. This dance between blessing and bondage reveals the deceptive nature of these entities, which cloak themselves in beauty and power, but mask a hunger for control and destruction. This dynamic mirrors the ancient warnings echoed in Scripture against idolatry and false worship. The allure of easy riches or supernatural protection tempts many, but the path leads away from the true source of blessing. The lesson is timeless and universal. To seek favor from created beings rather than the Creator invites spiritual peril. True peace and prosperity come only through faithfulness to God's light, not through dealings with shadowed forces. Understanding this delicate balance equips us to discern truth from deception. It calls for wisdom to recognize when power offered demands a price too high, and courage to resist the seductive call of marine spirits. In this recognition lies the freedom to walk unbound, protected by divine grace and anchored in eternal truth. As we continue this journey through the mysteries of the sea and spirit, these insights prepare our hearts to face the deeper battles beneath the waves, battles that challenge the soul and shape the course of destiny. As the waves of ancient seas continue to whisper their secrets, we come to understand that the world of mermaids, marine spirits, and the dark forces revealed in the Book of Enoch is no mere legend or fanciful myth. These stories, passed down through generations, echo the spiritual battles waged unseen beneath the surface of our world, where light and darkness contend for the hearts of humankind. From the mysterious temples honoring Dion by the Philistines to the haunting eyewitness accounts along distant shores, from the sacred yet dangerous worship of Mami Wata to the sorrowful tales of cursed sirens, we are reminded that the waters hold more than we dare to imagine. The very ocean becomes a vast battleground, a realm where spiritual entities of immense power and deep mystery dwell, beings who can either entangle souls in deception or awaken them to profound truths. The lessons woven through these narratives challenge us to look beyond the veil of the ordinary and awaken to the reality that spiritual warfare is ever present, not confined to ancient texts, but alive today in the whispers of the deep. The story of Leviathan, the great sea serpent whose pride and rebellion symbolize the forces arrayed against divine order, calls us to vigilance and faith. The siren song that once lured sailors to doom is a timeless metaphor for the seductive temptations we face, urging us to hold fast to the truth and resist the allure of deception. Yet amidst these shadows, there is hope. The power that seeks to ensnare is not absolute. The same scriptures that warn us of these marine spirits also proclaim the ultimate victory of light over darkness. Our strength lies not in bargaining with the spirits of the deep or succumbing to their charms, but in anchoring ourselves to the unchanging love and sovereignty of God. It is in this truth that freedom is found, in this faith that safety is secured. This journey into the hidden world beneath the waves invites each of us to reflect on our own spiritual walk. Are we aware of the unseen battles surrounding us? Do we discern the voices calling us, some truthful, others deceptive? The mysteries of mermaids and marine spirits, once distant tales, now serve as a mirror, reflecting the ongoing conflict within and around us. They urge us to seek wisdom, to hold tightly to the light, and to stand firm in the knowledge that no darkness can extinguish the flame of truth. As this exploration draws to a close, it is an invitation to stay curious and vigilant. The ocean's depths still hold many secrets, and the stories of the Book of Enoch continue to unfold for those willing to listen. Let this be a call to embrace a deeper understanding of the spiritual realms, to walk boldly in faith, and to resist the snares of the spirits that hunt and deceive. If you have found these revelations as compelling and enlightening as we have, your support helps bring this message to more seekers of truth around the world. By liking this video, you affirm the importance of uncovering hidden spiritual realities. By subscribing, you join a growing community dedicated to exploring the mysteries of faith, scripture, and the supernatural. Share this video with those who yearn for answers beyond the ordinary, who are hungry to know more about the unseen forces shaping our world. Remember, the battle beneath the waves is but a reflection of the battle within. Stand firm, be vigilant, and let the light guide you through every storm. Together we journey onward, into truth, into revelation, into freedom.